Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to wait just a couple minutes in case there's some more people that may join us. So just give us a little bit of time. We appreciate it. And mostly, yeah, everyone pretty much has their microphone muted. I say just for potential background noise. I appreciate that. For those that are here now, if you wouldn't mind doing us a favor, just so that we can kind of check off that you came tonight. In the chat box, if you could just put your name, if you want to put your name or the student's name or your child's name, whatever you choose, that would be great. Just put the full name in there, and then we'll be able to register you that you came today, kind of send out a survey and stuff. So I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. I don't see anyone joining more. Okay, I think we'll go ahead. It's 2 minutes after. So once again, welcome everybody. My name is Stephanie Buczkowski. I'm one of the co-directors in the admissions office. So we're really glad to have you here tonight and kind of maybe clarify any questions that you might have about the financial aid process. We have Katie Kostas here, who's the director of financial aid and wonderful, very, very knowledgeable. So please, the reason we're here is for you to just ask questions about anything in the process that you're, wherever you're at right now in the process, if you filed, if you haven't yet. So we'll just kind of start with that. And then I'll go ahead and, if you do have some questions, please, we'd love to actually have it be a dialogue. There's not a huge amount that will be joining us tonight. So if we really kind of just spoke amongst each other, I think it'd be really helpful to kind of, get things out there and keep people have other questions too that might be answered for them instead of maybe just sticking to the chat box. But totally up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with, just let us know. But Katie, if you want to go ahead and begin, sure, if you have any questions. Yeah, just introduce yourself.
Stephanie.
Sure, thanks.
As Stephanie said, I am Katie Kostas. I'm the Director of Financial Aid here at Niagara. So hopefully everyone had a chance to view the recording that went out with the invite to this event, which had the recording of how to file the FAFSA and then what to expect in when you're reviewing your financial aid package. So hopefully that either helped you or inspired some questions you might have. So as Stephanie said, we're totally open to a dialogue. So either if you want to put something into the chat, but to start, or if you just want to unmute, that's fine as well. But to start, did anybody have any specific questions about completing the FAFSA or, maybe something that you had trouble with if you started it?
I actually, this is Tracy Gedra here. I filled out the FAFSA and my EFC is double of what I make in a year. So I did some digging and I found out I rolled over a 401k into an annuity and that stuck there. So is that something you guys can manually correct?
Yeah. So yeah, if you use the data retrieval tool, it will just kind of automatically plop that information into it. So if it is from a rollover, you just have to provide us with documentation showing typically it says rollover on like the taxes. So you can just provide us a copy of that and we'll be able to fix that on our end for you.
Okay. Another discrepancy on the FAFSA, and I don't know if it's something I can correct myself. My daughter has a 529 and I accidentally put it under her asset instead of mine. So it's being, counted a little higher than if it was my asset.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, so you can go ahead and fix that as well.
Okay,
that would be something on your end that you would do.
Okay.
So you can just do an update to the correction to the FAFSA.
Okay, and then the last thing on the FAFSA, the particular year for 2019, I actually changed jobs. I lost my job and started a new job.
Okay.
So in 2019, I had a severance payment that was not part of normal income. Is that something that gets adjusted as well?
Yeah, so unlike with the rollover, which shouldn't have been counted, that's more along of what we would consider like a special circumstance.
Okay.
So we don't yet have the system set up for 21-22 to start accepting that documentation. Hopefully within the next week or two, probably honestly after Thanksgiving,
Okay.
that will be set to go. So I'm gonna pop my email into the chat, and if you just want to email me after Thanksgiving, and then I can let you know when that is set for you to actually upload the documentation for us to do a special circumstance.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah, I was curious the next step too. My daughter already got her acceptance letter, and I was just wondering, what the next step would be as far as financial aid and everything goes.
Yeah, sure. So we are working on putting together financial aid packages over the course of the next month. And then once those are all set to go for what we have right after we get back from the Christmas break, we will start sending out the official financial aid packages in the one through the mail. And then also we send out emails, and students have the option of viewing all their offers in their portal, their financial aid portal system. So yes, the main pretty much, so we get back like, the first week of January from Christmas break. So that week, the week after is when those packages will start going out.
So should I get with you and correct all these discrepancies before that goes out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For as far as the 529 and the rollover, yeah, those you want to correct now. And then as far as the special circumstance will be a little bit later on.
Okay, yeah, then the rollover again, that's just something I need to send you a copy of, and you'll have to manually fix that. Okay, the 529 I can do myself. It's no problem. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you. We love the questions for sure.
Yeah, those are really good questions. Does
Yeah.
anybody have any other issues with the FAFSA, or have you not started it yet?
Hey,
Hi,
Katie.
this is
Go ahead.
Tiffany. Oh,
Sorry. That's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
just a quick question. So we did file a FAFSA right when it came out, and it just said that it was accepted. So it's normal that we haven't, because you guys still have to do the packages and stuff like that's.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be sending out an email probably tomorrow or Friday to any accepted student who we have a FAFSA for. We just kind of uploaded everything into our system. So an email will be going out tomorrow or Friday to students, letting them know that we do have it and just giving them information that they'll start getting packages in January. I can check. What's the student's last name?
Kancar, Kancar.
We do have it. So yeah, we're in the midst of working on them over the next month. And the student will actually get an email, like I said, the next day or two, just letting them know that we did get the FAFSA.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then Hub, I think you had a question.
Yeah, Hub had a question.
Yeah, hey, Katie. So quick question for you on the FAFSA. I've got a junior currently at Niagara, and we normally fill it out for my daughter, Jenna. And then my question is there an easy way? I know I've got to do one for my son, but is there an easy way to kind of consolidate that and do them? I don't know if it's together without going through the process of doing multiple, applications for FAFSA.
So there does have to be two separate applications, one for each student. But as far as I know, and I can double check on this, but there used to be, when you did one, it would actually give you an option to actually to say that you have a sibling or another child, and to transfer that data over to another application.
Okay.
So as far as I know, it's still in effect and still an option to do. I will have to look in to see exactly where that is in the application. I don't know if it's it might be at the very, very end, but I can check on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, if you don't mind just shooting me an email tomorrow just to follow up,
Sure.
that'd be great.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And we do have a couple of questions in that chat box if you'd like me to address those quickly before anyone else maybe has anything, because it may answer for someone else. We have a question from Mary that's asking, how does TAP work for out-of-state families?
So I take it then you're not a New York State resident. Is that what they're?
I would assume yes.
I am not. No, we're
There
not
we
a
go.
New York State resident.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So for New York's, so since you are not a New York State resident, you would not be eligible for the TAP grant because it is just for students who are from New York State. You can check with the state you're from to see if they have any scholarships specific to students. But most times, if the student is traveling to a college outside of that specific state, the money does not follow them. But you can check.
And then also asking, how do alumni scholarships work? So obviously with the legacy, right?
Yes, the legacy scholarship. So if you have as a parent or a grandparent or aunt and uncle, if you graduated from Niagara University, then the student can fill out the legacy application. There is a link for that. I don't know if those have started to go out yet. I'll have to check with Dina on that one, Stephanie.
I don't.
soon.
I don't think they have. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
believe so.
So as long as on the admissions application, the student checked off the box saying that they, have they're a legacy student of sorts, then they will get the email that says, oh, please follow this link to fill out the legacy application. And then we just need to verify that, which doesn't take very long.
Yeah, we do in admissions too. We do get that question a lot sometimes. It's definitely important to pay attention to when you receive the email to make sure you follow the link to fill out the application, because that's the only way it gets filtered through to them. So definitely just keep an eye for that.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. Anyone, any questions you can think of? Is everyone pretty good in the process? Is there anyone that hasn't started at all and has questions about what to do? Is it the first time?
Actually, I'm jumping back. Where can we get more information on TAP and Pell and how to apply for those?
So for Pell, that is just through it's a federal grant, so it's just through the Fafsa form. Once you complete the Fafsa, that is really your application for any like Pell grants, work study, subsidized and unsubsidized loans. So as long as you fill out the Fafsa, that is your application for Pell. Now there is a cutoff for Pell. If your EFC is about $5,700 or less, then you'd be eligible for Pell. But if it's above that, then you would not be eligible for the Pell grant. So that might be why it's not showing up. Perhaps in your student aid report, like it'll tell you if you're eligible for Pell or not. And then as far as TAP goes, we'll give you the website here, .gov. You would go to complete, we can actually find out more information about TAP, and then there's other state scholarships as well. That's where you would apply if you didn't do the automatic transfer right after the FAFSA.
Thank you.
I just had a quick question with the legacy scholarship again.
Sure.
So I applied through Common App, and there was a spot to say that I had relatives that attended Niagara, but do I need to like email my admissions counselor to ask about that since I did it through Common App and not the Niagara application? Okay.
Nope, I believe that transfers over.
Okay.
Right, Stephanie, that was set up last year. So yes, that should transfer over into our system as well.
Yes.
And then you would get the email. I'm trying to think when let's just say if you don't receive the email within like a week after Thanksgiving, reach back out to me. And then because I can send it to you separately, but we'll make sure that one way or another, you get the link and then can complete the form.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's certainly, like if it does for anyone that's here, if that happens to happen, if you are a legacy and you don't receive it or know anybody, you can also get in touch too with like your admissions counselor, like you had asked to go into the admissions page. You can find out who that would be, and we'd be happy in the admissions side to help you with that too, for sure, just to kind of be a liaison.
I know that one question I get asked a lot is about additional scholarships. So we do have one. I always recommend applying for outside private scholarships, Community Foundation of Greater Buffalo. There's one for Rochester, one for Syracuse. Your local employers, like Wegmans, if you work at Wegmans, like there's a lot of different scholarships. Definitely check with your, local high school guidance counselor. They typically have a whole listing of them. Sometimes ones are specific to that particular school. But here at Niagara, we also have our own scholarship search page or portal. We call it SOS, Scholarship Opportunity Search. So as long as you're an accepted student, starting January 1st, the new year will be open and you can actually start applying for our own endowed scholarships. I'm going to actually in the chat here, I am giving the link. This actually lists all of our endowed scholarships and some local outside private ones. You do kind of have to take the time to kind of scroll through and look to see, what the criteria is for all of them. But once you are into the SOS system, once you're in one accepted into January 1st, you can actually go ahead and apply for those specific ones you're looking at. You can search in that one. It's a little bit easier to search rather than on the website, but at least this gives you an idea of what might be out there that you can apply for.
Now, Katie, I actually have a question about that, which may help the families that are here too today. When I was speaking about the SOS and having, kind of instructing students how to go, a current student that was here, she's a tour guide. She had mentioned that because the portal system information on you already, like kind of knowing your background, it actually may suggest some ones for you that you qualify for. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so it just takes like the basic information. I mean, especially for students who are just applying, just takes, you know, your major or your
Okay.
like your city. And we do have like an auto match format on there. So yes, it can auto match or suggest, I should auto suggest specific ones you might be eligible for. But I still definitely recommend you know, doing keywords or search by majors just to see if something might have been missed.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any more questions?
Yeah, any other questions? These have been great so far. This is
Yeah, I love it. But I'm sure your presentation was very helpful because it's very informative.
well, it was 45 minutes. So if everybody got through that, big thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't see the presentation. Where can I find that?
Well, it should have been sent in the original like invite for this, but I'm sure it's posted somewhere.
I'm going to take a look too.
Yeah, Stephanie, you know where?
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was looking in the confirmation email, but I see that now. Need money for college. Got it.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and there's also this, I hope these got sent around. I don't know if they did, but hopefully these were included as attachments. Well, there's the FAFSA on the web worksheet, which if you've already filled out the FAFSA, you should be good. But if not, this is a helpful guide. And then we also included the Financial Aid for College brochure, which kind of just breaks down the general websites that you're going to want to look at and some specific information for Niagara. But what I really, and of course, if you've already watched my presentation, you know this, but I'll just point out again, the last sheet in here, sorry, this is hard, the last sheet is a comparison worksheet that you can use to compare the financial aid packages once they start coming in from all the different schools. And I really do recommend doing this and really just kind of breaking down exactly what you're going to be charged for your direct charges and then what your aid is, because sometimes, you know, you do get a little overwhelmed with all the stuff that's coming in and not knowing, you know, what the, you know, compare apples to apples. So I do recommend doing that once you start getting your financial aid packages in from all the different schools to really compare. And then if you do, you know, find yourself needing to want to do like a financial aid appeal or something, it would be very helpful to provide the schools you're appealing to that comparison information.
Okay, would you mind kind of explaining what the appeal process is or what it does?
Yeah, so there's kind of two different avenues for an appeal. So sometimes you have the case where, you know, perhaps a loss of a job or reduction in income happened because the FAFSA, you're using 2019 tax information. And of course, well, as we all know, so many things have changed, especially this year. So if that information is no longer accurate, you can contact us and we can see if we can potentially do what we call professional judgment or a special circumstance. We'll open up a form in our mobile financial aid system and you'll have to upload documentation showing current wages or, you know, unemployment benefits or whatever the case might be. Sometimes it's a divorce or separation. So that's one avenue to go off of. And typically for those, we do ask that you wait until you get your first financial aid package in the mail in early January before we start really doing that. And then the second avenue is, you know, there haven't really been any changes or anything that would be different on the FAFSA, but you just find that you might need some additional funding in order to be able to attend. And that we just would call like a normal appeal. You would just contact either the financial aid office, us directly, or through your admissions counselor, you know, write up, you know, a couple paragraphs, explain the situation, what's going on, why you need additional funds. Sometimes if you're comparing us to another school, we'll also ask that you provide, you know, the award offer from that school. And then we have an appeals committee that meets, you know, once, twice a week, depending on the time of the year to go over and review all the appeals.
I will say, I mean, it's so impressive. The turnaround time too, if you were to submit something like that, I mean, Katie and the team do a great job. They do it very quickly. Turnaround time is fast, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely try within, you know, a couple of days. Sometime, again, depending upon the time of the year, if we get a ton in, it might be a little bit longer, but we always definitely, you know, let you know that we received the appeal and that the committee's meeting, you know, we let you know when they're meeting next.
Great.
Does anybody have any other questions that they thought of, or any other random financial aid questions?
Okay, everyone seems pretty happy, I think, right?
Or we're
So-
just tired. That could be
Yeah,
it.
or that, true, yeah, yeah, for sure. And then as you guys, probably do already know, if your son or daughter has already applied, or, maybe hopefully already been accepted too, in terms of the merit scholarship. So obviously the merit money that a student receives is strictly based on the student and what they've done. Has really nothing to do with financial aid or anything. So if you're waiting on an acceptance or received it, along with the acceptance letter, you get the merit money to the amount that the student is qualifying for. The range for this year, if you're not, don't have an answer quite yet or still waiting to do that, it starts at $10,000, goes all the way up to $23,000 a year. That's guaranteed all 4 years, and the students will, like I said, in their accept packet, will get the amount right along with their acceptance letter. So there's no waiting game on that either, which is really nice. And that's strictly just admissions and academic based. So it's totally just based on the student. So very helpful. Certainly keeps us competitive with state schools. Absolutely. You'll definitely find that, which is nice. That helps offset a lot.
I have a quick question. The Eagle Scholarship,
Oh,
was that part of the acceptance letter? Or is that on top of that?
Well, the Eagle Experience Scholarship was something that the students had to complete the 3 steps, which you may already know.
Right.
The deadline was the 15th of November. So that is on top of any merit scholarship money that a student would have received. So it's automatically added to the package, right, Katie? It goes right to the financial aid package?
Yep, it will be.
Yep.
It's a one-time for the fall semester.
Okay, I was going to ask if it's an annual thing or if it's a one-time, and where would we see that? Because I know she completed all the steps to do that, and I didn't see it in the acceptance letter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't in the acceptance letter. It would be reflected in your financial aid package, and you'll see that it's just listed for the fall semester.
Okay, all right, great,
Yep.
thank you.
Congratulations to her too for that.
Yeah, if they completed all the steps. So Stephanie mentioned that the merit scholarships are just based off solely what the student has done in high school, and then all other aid is really based upon the FAFSA form. So that is something that has to be done every year. So right now you're filling out the 21-22 FAFSA, but then just know that does have to be done every year. It opens up October 1st. We send out reminders to students to have those start being completed. The nice thing is that next year you really don't have to have it done as early. We don't really start packaging returning students until January, February. So you don't have to be right on October 1st, but try to get that in before the first of the year next year.
And we just had a great question in the chat box. And again, thank you for bringing this up. Abby's asking, which I'm surprised we didn't think about our own, Katie, but with the level tuition plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, great question. So the level tuition plan is an option that we have here at Niagara. And what it does is it actually locks the tuition rate in for all 4 years. So the tuition rate for the regular tuition rate is $34,400 for tuition. The level tuition rate, hang on, I have it here. We just figured it out. Well, I'm going to look for it and talk at the same time. But so the level tuition rate would be locked in. So typically what happens is that you pay a little bit more the first year than what the normal tuition rate is, but that then stays the same for your sophomore, junior, and senior years, and you are guaranteed never to pay more than anybody else. So if for some reason tuition doesn't go up, like it typically does, we would adjust that for you. We've done that like once over the past 25 years that this program has been going on. Level tuition for the year would be $34,900. So it's a $500 increase above what regular tuition is for next year. But again, that rate is locked in for all 4 years. So it is something I do recommend doing, especially if you know that you're going to be, at the college for 4 years. My parents signed me up for it when I went. I'm an alum from Niagara. My parents signed me up for it. They saved, a couple thousand back in the day. Students like a couple years ago were projected over 4,000 to save overall. So it is definitely a good idea to think about, and it definitely helps you be able to budget from year to year as well. It is an online application. Those will probably be open, I'm going to say probably around January as well. I will work with IT to get those up and running. But it would be actually, as far as I know, it'll still be right within your portal for admissions as well. But yes, that's a really, really good question. And I agree. I can't believe we didn't think about it.
I know, I'm surprised. I'm surprised too. And I mean, like I tell families, I think it's such a great peace of mind. I think just knowing that you'll never be affected by, annual increase. I mean, I think at private school goes up roughly, what is it, like maybe like between anywhere, it could be between 3 to 5% every year, kind of. That's kind of the range.
Correct.
And just knowing that, that you'll never have to be affected by that is a really nice thing.
Another question. Having been accepted to NU but have not sent in the deposit, any suggestions in directing my time and energy?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure.
And seeking an appeal. Is that what that said? Sorry.
Oh, maybe, yes. Jackie, is that right? Is that what it said?
We'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the appeal, you can start, I mean, again, we typically do recommend you wait until you get your financial aid package to send in the appeal. But once you are putting that together, really just, if it's because of some type of circumstances have changed, definitely put that in there and we'll see if we can do a professional judgment. But if it's just because, nothing really changed, just that you're gonna need some additional funds, really just explain that and why you are requesting those additional funds. It's pretty simple. It doesn't have to be anything, it doesn't have to be a novel.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And like, and too, a lot of times we in admissions here as your counselors will be kind of like liaison with Katie too, like kind of letting her know if we've been in touch with you about certain things. You can write the email to either us or directly to Katie, whatever. We make sure she gets everything she needs, which is nice. But like with the appeal, just in another reason too, just say, for example, you're looking at a lot of other schools that are similar to Niagara. And maybe it looks like they're getting more money, giving you more money than we are, something along those lines, like, just trying to really compare and do like the shopping sheet that we call it, right? Isn't that we call it the comparison sheet?
Yeah, it's actually, they renamed it. It's called the college financing plan now.
Oh, okay. I like shopping sheet better. That was more fun, but, but yeah, so all those things matter for sure.
Sorry, balance or question. Time and energy applying and seeking other,
there we go.
Let's see, Trenton. Yeah, so I mean, if you're from the Western New York area, as I said, as far as outside grants and scholarships go, I definitely suggest looking into the Community Foundation of Greater Buffalo. I've seen students get like $500 all the way up to like $6,000 from them. Those typically come out in like January. They're due like March or April most times. Same thing with, other grants. Again, a lot of those, they're not really open yet. January is kind of when they start opening up. And as far as loans go, when we send out the financial aid package, we will actually include like a whole loan brochure detailing, the steps the student will need to take in order to actually do the other documents needed for their federal loans. And then also given the options of either a Parent Plus loan or a private student loan. So a Parent Plus loan is a federal loan through the federal government, but it's in the parent's name. And then a private student loan would just be, it's in the student's name, Wells Fargo or, a credit union you might belong to or something like that. But most, 9 out of 10 times the student will need a cosigner for that. There's different options on those. We do have a preferred lender list that you can look at. You don't have to go with one of those. Those things, as far as loans, looking into loans, you really can't start applying for those until like June or really June 1st, because you don't want the credit to expire before we can certify in August, September when school starts. So those are something that you can start looking into as far as what your options are, but you really can't start applying for those until around June. I hope that helps. If it didn't, please let me know if you have further questions on that.
We do have a great question here too. Can I expect the FAFSA or TAP and the benefits that students receive award to be the same at any school they apply to, or is it specific to each school?
That is a really good question. So as far as the FAFSA results, like Pell Grant, that's going to be the same with whatever school you're going to. Typically your loans the overall loan amount, the $5,500 for freshmen, stays the same regardless of what school you go to. The mixture might be different. You might have more sub and more, or maybe more unsub, just depending upon the cost of attendance at each school. Work study, again, that really depends upon the availability of jobs at each school. So even though you might technically be financially eligible for a position because you have financial need based upon the FAFSA, a school might be limited in what they can offer. So you might get it at one school, but not at another. And then so that's really the federal programs. And then TAP, the answer is mostly yes, it stays the same. It does depend if you're going to a 2-year school or a 4-year school, those amounts can be different. But if you're comparing 4-year to 4-year, then yes, those amounts should be similar. I will say though that for TAP, we really do, schools will do estimations on that based upon the information we have on the FAFSA. So what you see in the amounts that are on your financial aid packages are going to be estimates that each school do for TAP. Those might vary, I mean, we have a general formula that we use from the state, but not knowing all the information, we're just kind of guessing from what we have from the FAFSA. So those might not be as comparable, but the overall amount, once approved by New York State, would be the same regardless of whatever school you're going to. Again, whether it's 2-year or 4-year.
Great information, Katie. Thank you. There's nothing left here in the chat box, and I did have something that came to mind. Oh, okay. So tell me if I'm right too, Kate. So I'm not even sure if I'm accurate. So this is all. It helps all of us really today. Is it accurate that when you are notified that you can go in and look at your financial aid package electronically, right? And at that point you can accept it.
Correct.
Now, if a student does qualify for a work study and it's on there, does that mean, I believe that means that locks in that work study money for them, the fact that they accepted it so that it won't go anywhere. Is that accurate?
So you don't have to accept the work study at that time.
Okay.
Okay, first off, is when you go to look into your portal, any grants or scholarships are going to already be accepted for you. Those are just automatic. The TAP grant will be estimated. That doesn't get approved officially until the New York State sends us stuff. But like work study and loans are going to be in what we call the offered status. So those are really the things that you are accepting or rejecting. You don't have to accept everything at that time. You can, accept your loans or reject your loans and kind of leave the work study out there because you can do individual funds. If you don't, whether you accept it or you just leave it alone, if you leave it in the offered status for the work study position, we still hold that for you. We don't, take that away if you, kind of leave it in the offered status. We just assume that you would be taking that until you tell us you're not. So we would hold that. We do our best to, guarantee a position for students who do come to the university. But again, that is dependent upon, the student schedule. Sometimes students, who have are participating in sports might not have as much time or other clubs and whatnot. So that we try our best to hold that position out there. But if you don't accept it right away, it's not going to disappear on you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. For me, for sure. And but what's great too is to start with the basic question someone had asked, Abby had asked, explain exactly what work study is and what the commitment is.
Yeah, so work study, it's a federal program. The money comes, again, you have to have financial need based upon your FAFSA and this, cost of attendance and all that. We have a limited number of positions on campus, typically only about 100, well, between 80 and 100 that we can offer to new students each year. So if you don't get it in your package, just means that we might not have had enough positions. You can always go on a waiting list, but the commitment for that, typically you work on campus. There's a few positions off campus like tutoring and things like that at some of the local elementary schools. But for the most part, it is you would work on campus in one of the offices or departments on campus. Typically, it's about 10 to 12 hours per week. You get paid minimum wage. That's the standard amount for the federal work study positions. 10 to 12 hours on campus, typically a week. And the nice thing about that is that you can decide to put some of that money that you're earning directly towards your account. So anywhere between 10% all the way up to 90% of your earnings can go directly towards your financial or your student account. So it can help pay down your bill. or you can choose to get a paycheck every 2 weeks and to spend it on, you know, other costs that might come up. I personally recommend putting it towards your account to lower that bill. That's what I did. I always put the 90% when I did work study. And it just helps, you know, reduce what I would have had to otherwise pay out of pocket.
Great. Really great questions, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, we do have, sorry, I kind of piggybacking off the work study. There are other jobs on campus that are not work study related. So our career services office places the work study students, but they also look into other jobs on campus that are available to students. So if you are, you know, wondering about that, I would definitely recommend contacting career services as it gets closer to the start of school, or, you know, closer to spring and summer to go over any options.
Great.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Stephanie. What were you saying?
No, nothing. I was saying great questions so far. I was thanking everybody for the great questions. Yeah. I don't know. I can't think of anything else myself now too. It maybe needs, you know, to clarify, but anyone else have anything they can think of? It's okay. I will ask that. So typically, like, how often do the financial aid packages go out? So the first batch goes out, like you said, you know, not long after the break. And then after that, is there like a regular time frame that they kind of?
I would say on a weekly basis after that.
Oh, great. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So as long as your FAFSA is valid, you know, by valid, I mean, you don't have a C code. Typically a C code would be because, you know, a citizenship can't be confirmed, or you didn't sign up for the selective service, or you put in your wrong birth date, your wrong social, or as long as, you know, both student and parent signed off on the FAFSA. So as long as everything looks good and we are able to, you know, package that and put that through the process, then once we start, you know, sending out that big batch, the first big batch, about, you know, every week or so, packages would be going out in the mail. And also, again, email. You get the email first, and then the package would follow a couple of days later in the mail.
Great. And I do have a question here in the chat box here. If you have received an acceptance letter, when do you need to make the decision to attend, and what is the deposit? So typically the pretty universal date for most schools you'll hear, especially for a rolling admission school like we are. And we're rolling everything, really. We're rolling admission, rolling deposit, all that kind of stuff. So, but typically we like you to send it in by May 1st, if possible. We certainly do grant extensions if there's like extenuating circumstances, you just need more time. But I will, of course, always say that the earlier the better. More so too, because I think it's very important. Once you become a deposit student in the system, I mean, everything just starts, like if you know you're attending, you know, we're your number one choice, which we hope we are, of course. Everything just starts moving, you know, kind of at that pace at that point then. So when you become deposit, then you'll start getting the information to sign up for some orientation. If you're gonna be living on campus, you can do your housing forms, your health forms, all that kind of stuff. So everything really starts coming at you and moves up your timeline in terms of getting everything situated that you need. So I just do like to say, if you know that we're where you wanna be, submitting the deposit the sooner is definitely the better way to go for so many reasons. And the deposit, the amount for a commuter student is $200, and for a resident is $300. And you can, what happens is you get, when you get your acceptance letter, we kind of prompt you to fill what's called like your Purple Pass account is what it's called. It's kind of like your portal, your one-stop shop for everything really at that point. And that is where you are able to make your deposit electronically if you would like. They'll sign up for orientation, all that kind of stuff. It's all there for you, like right at your fingertips. So it's nice and easy.
Okay, Megan had a question about, can you give me more information about athletic scholarships? I've been in contact with the coach and you, but wonder what you could tell me. So that is one of the few scholarships on campus that my office does not decide upon. So if you are awarded an athletic scholarship, that would be directly from the athletic, you know, the coach through the athletic department. They would let my office know, and then we would put that as part of your financial aid package. I mean, scholarships can range from a set, you know, maybe $1,000, $5,000, all the way up to maybe, you know, tuition and fees. It really just depends upon the sport and what the coach has available to offer for that particular year. So if the coach has indicated to you that, you know, you've been, or you will be awarded an athletic scholarship, it could just maybe just hasn't happened yet. I know I've only received you know, a handful of offers so far because we just had the one signing date. So I know there are specific dates for specific sports. But yes, if you are awarded one, it will be communicated to my office and we'll put that as part of your financial aid package, and that would go on top of your merit scholarship.
Great. We have a couple more questions in the chat box too. So to confirm if you have a job on campus outside of work study program, are you not able to apply it to your student account?
Yeah, so you would not be able in that case to automatically have it set up as what we would call as a deferment, but you always have the ability, you know, once you cash that check or whatever, to then make a payment onto your account.
We have another one as well for if there are theater scholarships available. And yes, do you want to talk about that, Katie, the theater scholarships?
Sure. So there are, I don't know, it used to be 8. I know there's actually more. It's probably more like 12 or 13 now.
Yeah, yep, I think it is, yeah.
Okay, $5,000 scholarships, theater scholarships. These would be on top of your merit scholarship as well. These you have to apply and typically audition for through the theater department. I don't know the dates of their auditions. Do you happen to? I don't know if those are set yet. Typically it's January, February.
Yes, they're usually the weekend. Sometimes it's usually the last week of January and the first week of February, at least very early February. Yeah, and the students are all notified of that if you're looking at performance and stuff. And I think for portfolio as well. I mean, I think can you submit for that as well, right?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if you have
Absolutely.
questions about when those dates would be, definitely contact the theater department. But again, they would work with my office once those are selected, and that would be become part of your financial aid package. Another scholarship that we should mention is also the Vincentian Scholarship. There's about
my mind.
4 of these available each year. So if you have done a lot of community service while in high school and you plan on still wanting to do that while here at NU, please apply for this. It is a great opportunity. It's a $5,000 scholarship. There is a lot of work involved, not gonna lie. There's a lot of things you have to do for that to be part of the Vincentian Scholars Program. But if you, again, have done a lot of community service, plan on to keep doing that while you're here at Niagara, I definitely recommend applying. You do have to submit, I believe, an essay, as well as go through an interview process. Those are due in January. So that's I know the application's open and out there. So that's something that if you're interested, definitely start looking into.
Mm-hmm. You read my mind, Katie. I was totally going to bring that up. So good. Anything else?
Yeah, these are great questions tonight. I'm so excited everyone participated, because I really didn't know if there would be any questions at all. So thank you everybody for.
It is, yeah. We never know what we're going to get sometimes with these, right? It's hard.
No, it's great. Oh, I did want to say that starting after we get back from Thanksgiving, if you haven't already filed your FAFSA, I know about half of you already did it, so that's great. And we do have those. Again, we will start processing those this next month. But if you haven't yet completed your FAFSA form, we are going to offer one-on-one sessions, virtual sessions, to actually help you complete those. So be on the lookout for an email. They're not ready yet, probably next week. They'll go out that you'll be able to actually sign up for a one-on-one appointment with someone on my team to go through filling out the FAFSA. So hopefully, you know, we can help you with that if you haven't done the FAFSA already. I don't know, again, exactly when those emails are going out, but hopefully the next week or two.
And someone had asked again what the name of the Vincentian Scholars Program scholarship was. So I sent it to everyone so they kind of know if they want to look that up.
Actually, and I can give you the exact website.
Yeah, because it just went live actually, what I want to say 2 weeks ago, I think.
It hasn't been that long.
Not that long, yeah.
There is the link to the actual application.
Great. Anything else? You guys think of anything else, Katie? I mean, it covered a lot of great information.
Yeah, this is great.
I'll put my contact here too, in case
yeah.
for admissions contact. So if you need anything, please don't hesitate.
Yeah, my contact information is up there before. Just kcosis@niagara.edu, or our general finaid@niagara.edu, or FAO. We have many emails you can use, but definitely feel free to shoot us an email or give us a call. You know, if you have to leave a voicemail, sometimes I know, because, you know, we might only have one person on the phone tree that day, but we get back to you right away. So feel free to leave a voicemail and we will definitely reach back out.
Great.
All right. Well, any other last minute questions before we sign off?
Thanks, everybody. That was
Yeah,
great.
thank you so much for attending.
Yeah, really, it was great. So if you need anything else, and we're doing another one of these when, December 8th, right?
December 8th, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, so if you need to come back, if you need any more
Come
questions.
on back, ask another question.
Yeah. Great. Oh, you guys are great. Well, thank you so much. Take care,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie, for everything.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Were you able to sign everybody in?
Yeah, everyone. Well, what's really great is I didn't know it was working for these events as well, but apparently it must have been. Where now, because we send a different link out now with this,
Oh, okay.
and it actually what happens is I'm just moving people out because
And maybe stop recording.
yeah,